Hello campers, welcome back to the cast. I'm your host, Cryptid. I hope you can join me for today's special event. Now if you all gather around the campfire for today's special Cryptid file. This is special because it's the first episode in a new installment I'm going to be introducing to the channel that I've mentioned before. I'm not fully set on the name yet, but I feel like Cryptid could be cryptids. Leave it at that maybe. But for now I'll just title it that. But today I'll be sharing with you information I have come across about a cryptid in the location known as West Virginia. Now for those who don't live in America, because I've seen people from other countries that view my channel, so thank you all for joining other countries, even other states. Again, I appreciate you guys watching my content. And I hope you all feel welcomed here in this community. So I just want to build this community, campers that want to stay and watch horror, content like that. Put pleasantries aside. Creature known, the cryptid, not just creature, but the cryptid known as the Mothman. Found in West Virginia. Specifically, West Nyack, West Virginia. And Mothman, this creature is clearly a man. That is a moth. You see here, he is, I don't know if it's a he or a she, but I've heard referred to as he, but I would call it it. If I slip with he, I apologize, just because that's what I got used to. As you can see here, clearly it is a moth and a man. It's literally what the name says, but this is a statue that can be found in the area of West Virginia, because this cryptid is actually well known throughout that area. It's, I guess, become a local, what's that word? A local folk tale for them. It's pretty much the mascot of their area, because I've seen it's pretty much like this headless horseman of Sleepy Hollow. It's their icon, if you will, because there's a statue. They also hold a Mothman festival. And pulling up their website, Mothman Festival. So there's a 2023 September 16th to 17th set shows here. For those who live in West Virginia or around that area, go visit. I'll link their website down below. But reading what it says on their website right here. What is Mothman Festival? Mothman Festival is an annual event held every third weekend of September that commemorates 1966 Point Pleasant, West Virginia Mothman site. That's what it was. Point Pleasant. He was also cited other areas too, which we will cover is the lower behind him, or it. But people from all over the world gather around a charming main street to celebrate their favorite cryptid during this one kind of. So I will pull up pictures, and I have like a few pictures listed here, but I'll leave their website linked. They have pictures on their website showing little goodies and little commodities you could purchase at their event. Live bands and Point Pleasant town guest speakers. I'm assuming people have seen the creatures. There's a Mothman museum, cosplay too, even a TNT bus store. There's also an area where they believe the Mothman lived, or still lives too. It's pretty much information about their festival. But if you go there, you can see people dressed in costumes, obviously as the Mothman. I'm sure you'll meet people that plan to see a creature. But there's also an interesting piece that I see here. The man dressed as a man in black. Not the movie, Will Smith. Good movie. But there's a real, I don't know if it's 100% real or not, but I wouldn't put it past the government or for our government to have men in black as people, if you will. You know, CIA, FBI, they do undercover work at times. Now, I'm not trying to say conspiracy fanatic, not over here, but like I said, I wouldn't put it past our government to have members that would go uncover. But now for a monster, cryptid hunter kind of thing going on, I'm not too sure how to feel about that. But people have claimed to have seen men in black walking around their town as they assume events of this creature have picked up, or events pertaining to this creature have picked up. But that will be covered today. So let us continue and get into it. Like I said earlier, as you can see, this is a statue found in Point Pleasant, right here. I think it's in the center of the town, but pretty much the West Virginia folklore. Mothman, like I said earlier, is a humanoid creature, and the creature was said to be sighted in, like I said earlier, Point Pleasant, the area from November 15, 1966, and then other sightings continued all the way to December 15, 1967. There was a newspaper in Point Pleasant called the New Point Pleasant Register. This was dated November 16, 1966, and the title had the name Couple See Man-Sized Bird Creature, something. So, going on with that, the national press picked up reports of the creature, the Mothman. At the time, though, I don't think it had the name, the Mothman. Running with the story, they wrote articles about it, many, and kind of took off from there. It got more publicity. I know people claim to have seen the creature. But this all caused the creature to be spread information about throughout the U.S. Apparently, the source of the legend is believed to have originated from sightings of out-of-migration slingtip cranes or herons, as that's what they believe people were really seeing, migrating cranes or herons, specifically said-tailed cranes, as people claim to have seen something, if it was nighttime. You know, people usually run in it's dark. You don't know what you saw, something like that. Like people claim to have seen a creature, just like Bigfoot. Could have been a bear, people said, but, you know, people try to chalk up whatever they want when they can't really explain something or someone comes up with a story. Personally, I don't know how to feel about that, but I'm Cryptid, and I'm here to give you the information about these different monsters. So, let's continue. Now, like I said, it was first sighted in November 1966. The Mothman does go by other names. The names consist of Winged Man, Birdman, UFO Bird, Decent Bird Monster. Obviously, like I said, it's in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, located in the United States of America. The creature was introduced to a larger audience when the man Gary Baker, back in the year 1970, was later popularized by John Keel in 1975, introducing the book The Mothman Prophecies, claiming that there were supernatural events related to the sightings. There's also a connection to, he said, apparently the events related to sightings and a connection to the collapse of the Silver Bridge. Now, the Silver Bridge, when that collapsed, people have said that they saw the Mothman moments before, or a little before the bridge, and it collapsed, obviously. But before the bridge collapsed, like I said, people claimed to have seen the Mothman. Now, the Mothman is typically said to be sighted either moments before, or before some bad event happens, like a few days before. That's what people have claimed. They've seen the Mothman in areas like that before a disaster happens, whether it be natural disaster, an accident, or even, and it was crazy, but people have said they saw him 9/11 tragedy, and rest may those people rest in peace. There was also the book, like I mentioned, was later adapted into a movie in the 2002 film, starring Richard Gere. Now, that was it. Like ironically, the year I was born, 2 was there was a movie I actually might review it on the channel at some point. I gotta watch it again. It's been a while. But in the movie, follow the main actor Richard, and he goes to the story, seeing sights of the Mothman. Then I'm just getting a call, and the Mothman did not really directly show him, like in the movie American Werewolf or American Werewolf in London, another great movie. But in the movie covering werewolves at one point. But moving on, the main the Mothman was sighted in the movie, and then it shows him kind of flying around at times, and, sighted near the bridge, and the bridge was one of the big events. The phone calls, people are scared like that. I think the main couple was scared of him, obviously, because a Mothman must be terrifying. But continuing onward to real life, what people have claimed to see, going back to the event on the date of November 15th, 1966, there was 2 people, a young couple from Point Pleasant. Their names are Roger and Linda Scarberry. And Steve and Mary, 2 young couples, I apologize. Steve and Mary Malete told police seeing a large white creature whose eyes glowed red. Like I said, I didn't point this out, but typically here, you see here, the creature's eyes are red. And going on with the story about the sighting, glowing red eyes, and standing at the side of the road near the TNT area. Now that will come up later, and I'll show you the site of a former World War II munitions plant. Linda Scarberry described it as a slender, muscular man, 7 feet tall, with white wings. Said that she was unable to discern the face due to the hypnotic effect of its eyes. Distressed, the witness drove away at speed. Said the creature flew after the car, making a screeching sound and pursued as far as Point Pleasant city limits. During the next few days, other people reported similar sightings. Like I said earlier, after the local newspapers picked it up, 2 volunteer firemen who saw it said a large bird with red eyes. So we see here the accounts always depict red eyes. It's quite large, standing taller than most average men. And even different countries, I know different countries have average heights, but I believe the average height in America is 5'10". This creature has been reported to stand at 7 foot tall. It's about 10 feet tall. It's quite larger than the first depiction said. So who knows? If it's real, could have grown. If it's not, people say they saw different heights. Who knows? But after the 2 firemen sighted it, there's a man named Mason County Sheriff George Johnson commented that he believed the sightings were due to an unusually large parrot he termed a shite boat. So obviously the guy here chalks it up to an unusually large parrot, as he claims. And then there's another man, contractor Newell Patridge Will Johnson, that when he aimed a flashlight, the creature in a nearby field, its eyes glowed like a bicycle reflectors. Additionally, he claimed buzzing noises from his television set and the disappearance of his German Shepherd dog from the creature. Now, again, you see a different fiction here of the story, Mothman, different account, and chalking that up to something else like TV. So we see here different people, different sightings, different stories, chalking up the creature to different explanations, such as TV, parrot. The person claimed to have actually seen the creature being chased, pursued by the creature for a very long distance. Going on though, wildlife biologist Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University told reporters that descriptions and sightings all fit the sandhill crane, which is a large bird. A large American crane, almost as tall as a man, with a 7-foot wingspan, featuring circles of reddish coloring on their eyes. The bird may have wandered out of the migration route, and therefore was unrecognized at first because it was not native to the region. So again, another explanation trying to use science and a real-life bird, which makes sense. It's highly possible to happen. Due to the popularity of the Batman TV series, like I said earlier, pop culture had taken the creature and kind of adapted him into different positions or different roles. And Batman, there's a villain called Killer Moth, and he did in Batman TV series. Fictional superhero Batman and his Rose Kelly were prominently featured in the public eye. So Batman, obviously we know, is a pop culture icon today. Everyone knows him. Everyone loves the game Batman Knight. Still going on today. Batman's going crazy, right? But the villain, Killer Moth, was introduced in a very old comic featuring Batman and Robin taking them on. He has the design of a man, normal human, wearing the suit of a moth, flying around. I think he used a flamethrower, if I'm not mistaken. But so the whole idea is they took that. So again, while the villain Killer Moth did not appear in the show, comic book influence of both him and Batman is believed to have influenced the coinage of the name Mothman in the local newspapers. So, continuing onward, on the date of December 15, 1967, collapse at Silver Bridge and the death of 46 people. The incidents gave rise to the legend and connected the Mothman sightings to the bridge collapse. According to Georgian newspaper, forgive me, I'm going to have to butcher this, but Savannah Naya Gruziya, Russian ufologists claim that Mothman sightings in Moscow foreshadowed the 1999 Russian apartment bombings. Continuing onward, the Mothman prophecy is still to a major motion picture, like I told you guys earlier, which is based off the 1975 book with the same name, written by the man John Keel. There was in the year 2016, there was a WCHS TV published a photo of the Mothman, taken by an anonymous man driving on Route 2 in Mason Country. Science writer Sharon A. Hill proposed that the photo had been taken. Sorry, I lost my notes. Proposed that the photo showed a bird, perhaps an owl, carrying a frog or snake away. Wrote that there is zero reason to suspect Mothman described the legend. There are too many far more reasonable explanations. So again, the one point I keep mentioning is that everyone has different accounts of this creature and different explanations, and that it's crazy that people think that's real. So they'll chalk it up to whatever they want to try and claim that it's not real. I'm not saying it's real. I know some people believe in cryptids. Some are definitely more believable than others. You take Bigfoot, for example, and take ancient creature known as Gigantopithecus, which is genus species, and Gigantopithecus was a ape-like creature, which was seen as also having humanoid features that stood at 10 feet tall. Definitely could be your Bigfoot if it were real. Again, the creature Loch Ness Monster, I think it's commonly seen as an ancient plesiosaur, which was an aquatic creature found at the age of the dinosaurs, all the way from, I don't know which which years it was in, but the dinosaurs' age was Triassic age all the way to the Cretaceous period, and then they were wiped out. So who knows if it was able to live or not. It's all, I believe, in Scotland or Ireland, I don't remember. But I will study each cryptid before, this is how the series is going to work. I will study each cryptid like I am now. Then I have notes written about it, which I've been working on in the background, so it took me a little bit of time to upload this video, but going onward. There are other folklore written about the creature and many other reports. There was notes that the Mothman is widely connected to UFOs. Other claims military storage site was Mothman's home. That's what one of the pictures was. If I could pull it up here, it's graffiti. Now, here it is. Oh, this costume of the Mothman. Here is the home. Then it is to the entrance that people said it lived in, which is quite dark, which I guess moths like one source of light. So I guess if it's a large Mothman following a car, it would be crazy. But going on. Many people had more countings. Like I said, there was even that Russian gentleman who counted it in Moscow. But I guess if you're a 7-foot, 10-foot tall moth, powerful wings, I guess that would be too far-fetched for you to be able to fly across the world. And there's another gentleman, Joe Nickel, who says that a number of hoaxes followed publicly generated by the original reports, such as construction workers who tied flashlights to helium balloons. People do all sorts of things. Then again, he attributes his own spin on it. Mothman attributes the Mothman sightings to barned owls, suggesting that the Mothman's lung eyes were actually red eye effect caused from the reflection of light from flashlights or other bright light sources. Apparently, reported by Benjamin Bradford, the red eyes was the second hand that of Shirley Hensley, who was in the original car chase story, quoting her father. One of the prevailing hypotheses associated with the Mothman at the time of the original sightings was that it was a misidentified sandhill crane due to primarily the size of the bird, as well as reddish flash around the crane's eyes, which we stated before. So there were so many that sightings, like we just covered here, and that's not even half of it. There, like I said, there were so many sightings, pop culture took it, ran with it, turned it into a movie. The name of the movie is Mothman Prophecies, if you want to watch, directed by Mark Pellington, and adapted from the book Mothman Prophecies by John Keel. Don't want anyone suing. I don't own those properties. But moving on here. Just reading my notes here. So we covered the Silver Bridge incident, but touching back to it with some more detail. Again, on the date December 15th, 1967, locals had said they saw Mothman on top of or flying over the Silver Bridge, which was a suspension bridge over the Ohio River that connected Point Pleasant, West Virginia to Gallipolis, Ohio. According to Mothman lore, shortly after the creature was spotted on the bridge collapsed. And after the collapse, there was 46 people who died. Rest in peace to them. And then a further investigation of the disaster, they found a fracture in the suspension chain, and they said that that was the cause of it. So going on, Mothman, like I said earlier, has been apparently sighted in other disasters events since that bridge incident. People claiming to have seen the creature for earthquakes, tsunamis, and like I said, referenced earlier, 9/11 terrorist attack. People claim to have sighted it. But that one I'm going to go on a limb and say definitely not happened. Again, rest in peace to those who have perished in that incident, and to those who have then lost their family members, worker members to that incident. My heart goes out to you guys, and rest in peace to those who have perished in this. And more attributing to more of the creature's personality or moral compass, which I don't know if it has one or not, but people think that it does. People believe that it's evil, or other people think it is benevolent. More people are split upon where it falls when as compared to other cryptids. Whereas you have Bigfoot, who usually seems to have been stated to just want to be left alone, living out in nature, pretty much, running his own business. Where you might have other cryptids, where one of them, I forgot the name of it, but it beats on your nightmares, sits on your bed, not the rape, but an ancient thing. It was depicted in medieval one. It sits on your bed and feeds on your nightmares. Or, what was another one? Oh, I forgot there was an Irish one. I forgot the name of it, but it's a horse. Seawater horse that takes children on a ride and then drowns them in the water when late at night and eats them out. But we'll cover him in a little bit. So going forward, the Mothman noticed a huge jump 2019, especially in the area of Point Pleasant, the pop culture, where the retail industry just went crazy and started printing on shirts and all sorts of things. You know, knickknacks and everything. Probably even mugs, which I might purchase and review if I can get one. Hinted. This would attract visitors even from other countries. So Point Pleasant was definitely a destination to go see for most people about this creature. You know, more horror stories. But again, going back to what I promised earlier. So, covering where it lives. The legend of the Mothman says that it lives in a TNT area near Point Pleasant. And that was that image I showed you. It will resurface again. It's just a slideshow. But according to legend, Mothman is a black creature, a black 10-foot creature with wings and red eyes. Shortly after the cemetery incident, residents of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a few miles west of Silicon claimed that they saw the monster while driving at night, which we covered. Articles in newspapers at the same time reporting the monster was also commonly seen in the TNT area near town, with some locals speculating that perhaps people really seeing cranes or owls, which we already covered. But, you know, like I said earlier, people will claim to have seen something, and then other people will say that no, it's really this animal or that animal, or saw a plane, or whatever. And I only say it like that just because it's interesting when people say they saw something. That's really hard for others to believe even until they see something with their own eyes. But there are so many things that people believe in nowadays that other people won't take serious or respect. So, you know, to each their own, as I say. But going on with this, in the TNT area, after the people saying they saw owls and this, realistically that's what they were seeing apparently, the legend goes on and that it has mysterious men in black suits began visiting the town shortly after the sighting reports. That's what people were claiming. And I tried finding more information about the Men in Black with the Mothman, but I couldn't really find much this time. But I really wish one would cover the Mothman itself, and really what you guys think of it. I want to know in the comments what you guys think, and let me know also what I should do next, for our next cryptid episode if I don't come up with them. I will start releasing polls if I can weekly, or at least maybe weekly or once a month kind of thing, or every 2 weeks. I have to see what kind of time frame I want. But just to see what cryptids you guys are interested in. I do have a few in mind, and at one point, if it falls, I will get to each one listed on full. Like 2 to 3 listed, just to give you guys some options. But again, the Men in Black, I will try and actually cover that video if I can find more, because it does count as a cryptid. I know they're human, but it's a group, like mysterious, you know. So we'll see if we can cover that, and I get more information on that. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Fearless, and the creature knows the Mothman. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Cryptic Cryptids with an S. Sorry, it's gonna take me a little bit to say that. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and all that stuff. Bye campers. See you in the next one.